Back with Mike DeCourcy and Kevin Brockway here on Indiana Sports Beat. Ted Lasso, man, is just one of the most popular shows of the last year. They won the Emmys. They won Jason Sudeikis won an award. Had Hannah Waddingham, who plays the owner, won an award. And my favorite, Brett Goldstein, who is Roy Kent, of course, won an award. He was not originally cast for that role. He was writing for the show and it turned into I think he was a comedian, but he ended up I can't remember if they said they had someone else cast for that role, but he was not originally cast for that role. I'm like, man, I can't imagine anybody else playing that role of his.
He's tremendous and has been the best part. He still remains the best part of season 2, which I wrote a tweet on Sunday night, I think it was, that I've been overall disappointed in season 2. I think they're trying way too hard to force conflict and that sort of thing. The season was the first season was a really breezy, inventive, fresh, optimistic idea, and I guess they felt like they had to make some grand artistic statement. And I think they've fallen short in a lot of areas. There's still a lot of funny stuff because the people who are doing the show are brilliantly funny. And there is if you have not seen all of season 2 yet, there is a scene there is a funeral in, I think it's episode 10, that I mean, there's like 17 different things that are hilarious about it, but one specific to men and their fashion choices that is just absolutely drop down hilarious. But so there's still stuff like that, but I think by and large that the general tone of the season has been overly ambitious, and I'd rather them be moderately ambitious and remain hilariously funny than to be overly ambitious and for the humor to just sort of sneak through the cracks here and there.
Yeah, I'm enjoying a lot of most people are. I thought I'd finished the season, but apparently I knew that it didn't seem like I had, but the episodes are apparently not showing up on what I'm looking at, but I'm gonna have to go back and track that down. I'm looking forward to seeing what all is happening because I'm missing it, but I've enjoyed the heck out of it. And I used to could not stand soccer. I probably told you that before until my daughter, who played all through high school, played. And I remember taking her to a game. It was in Louisville at the time, a competitor of the Indy 11 at that level, and watching these guys. And I was up close and personal and seeing, not that they run, how freaking hard that they were running. And I was like, damn, I mean, non-stop. And I'm like, oh, and then I got it. You have to see it in person and not no offense, but not a boys or girls high school game or a low level team, which that'll be fun for the little kids. But if you really want to see what it's about, you've got to see a professional team. And I would actually say that level right before the top level, because those guys are all trying so hard to get up.
Right.
But it is, you see the athleticism, you see how hard that it is. It is not easy. And that's where I gained a different perspective. And I started enjoying it more than my daughter did. She didn't watch soccer. I guarantee you, she never watched a soccer match in her life. And she played for all those years. And I'm always, hey man, did you see so-and-so's playing? No. I'm like, I'd find myself watching a soccer match where before I couldn't stand it. But once you learn it you have to learn the rules. And I'm not in favor of the offsides rule. I'm like, hey man, it's your job to cover me. If you don't cover me, that's on you. So I don't understand that one. And if you're not,
the offside rule exists so that like guys don't stand right by the goal and there's never any action. It's the same in hockey. Like you'd never move. And so it makes it a flowing game instead of a static game.
I think you should be forced. You have to go across the center line. And then once you do that, you're free, and it's up to the defender to keep track of you, man.
Here's an interesting thing. What if you had offsides in basketball? You wouldn't have those cherry pickers. You know what I mean? Those guys that are.
Well, that's what he's talking about.
That's only useful in pickup basketball. I will say that that if you are interested or getting interested, the United States men have 3 games in the next 9 days now, starting Thursday in their World Cup qualifying cycle. Thursday. They play in Austin, Texas, against Jamaica. Then they go to Panama for a game Sunday night. And then next Wednesday, I believe it is, they play in Columbus against Costa Rica. So you've got a chance to really get interested and engaged in a team that most of the people listening would have a vested interest in.
And I didn't plan on talking much about soccer, but it seems like the support has plateaued for soccer, or at least for high-level soccer in the United States. And I think that's mainly because the men aren't winning. If you don't win, you don't draw attention, but it seems like it's plateaued, I should say.
I don't know. I mean, when you think about it, think about the number of new Major League Soccer teams that are coming online. Nashville is 2 years old, I think, now. We've got St. Louis coming. We've got Charlotte coming. There continues to be interest in the sport around the country. There's a lot of angst about the men's team because they didn't qualify for the World Cup in 2018. And I'll tell you how extreme the angst is. I mean, okay, so they only are allowed to field 11 players and then make 5 subs during the game. So that's 16 players you essentially need to have. And I think game day rosters, I'm not sure. I think they're 20 for this round of qualifying. I'm not 100% sure on that, but they called 27 players to camp for these 3 games. And then one of them, John Brooks, got injured. He's the most experienced defender on the team. He did not have a good window in September, but he's the most experienced defender. So the U.S. Soccer said, well, we're not going to call anybody else in right now because we've got 4 guys to play the only 2 spots, and we've got 3 games. And if somebody gets hurt or sick or whatever, we can just call somebody up. But they are going crazy on Twitter because they're not calling anybody up to be the 5th center back. So the interest is still there. It's still passionate. They're getting it's in many cases over the edge. And I can see what you're saying about the growth of the sport. But remember, the growth of soccer interest is fractured in so many different directions. Women's game, women's pro league, women's overseas, women's Champions League starts today. People are talking about that. You've got the men in Spain, Italy, England, France, Germany, all of whom have some following here, plus Major League Soccer. So I think the difference is there's not one central place where it all funnels into. And I think that's why you might think that the interest has plateaued.
And I'm trying to get a grip as a novice. The Premier League has 20 teams in it.
20 teams.
And what's the league below that where you get relegated to?
It's called Championship.
The Championship League. So the Championship League is the lower level. I sound like
that's the next level.
I sound like Ted Lasso right now. So the Championship League is not your top league.
Yes, it is funny. It is funny that they call it that because it sounds more important. But I guess you have to dissect the English language. Is Premier better than Championship? I don't know, but that's how it is. So it's Premier, Championship, and then I don't know what they call this, the 3rd division. Who knows?
And then in the United States, is it still the North American Soccer League?
In the United States, it's the USL, the United Soccer Leagues. So it's USL, and they have a USL 1 and a USL 2.
So is that the same as the Premier League and Champions League?
The difference is the difference. No, the Championship. Don't confuse Championship with Champions League. The difference in the United States is that there is no relegation. So although those leagues exist as minor leagues,
they're just minor leagues.
You can't get out that way. You can get out the other way, going out of business, but you can't go out and get out.
Let's see. So is the USL top level comparable to the Premier League?
Oh gosh, no.
Are they comparable to the Champions League?
No.
Wow.
I mean, no. I mean, the soccer here is not as good as it is over there.
Right.
You're getting
Well, I get
confused. The USL is actually level 2, Jim. The MLS is the top
MLS
level.
is the top level, yeah.
Major League
USL
Soccer
is below the MLS.
USL is below that. There, it's this. It would be the figurative similar to the championship, but it's not as good.
Yeah. Well, I'm like in the United States. What is the top
Major League Soccer?
Yeah, MLS. Yeah,
MLS.
That's okay. So is that comparable to the Premier League?
Yes. It in form, but not in function, but not in form.
So will they be comparable to the Champions League?
No, Champions League is the best of all the European leagues.
Oh, I thought that was the relegated teams.
No, that's the championship. This is really a good skit we're doing here.
It really is,
like who's
because
on first.
and think that this is fake. It's not. I sound like Abbott and Costello. And,
Yes.
and he's the straight man, and I'm the comedian without trying to be comedian because I'm just dumb.
How about
So
this?
it is the
I am
Second
dying laughing behind this.
level
This is
England, second level England soccer, is it comparable to MLS or no?
Well, I guess where I was trying to go is, will there ever be a World Series?
Technically there is. It's called the Club World Cup, and it is the winner of the Champions League, the CONCACAF Champions League, the Asian Cup champion, I think they call it. What the South America, is it Copa? Do they take Copa Libertadores or Sudamericana? I don't know which one, but so it's all of those. Exactly, Forrest, you're right on. They take all those, and in past years they've played the tournament in late December, early January. It only takes about a week, 10 days to play the tournament, so it's not really as involved as some others. But so they do have it. It's never been that big a deal. Like the team that wins the Champions League from Europe goes over and sort of like, do we really have to be here? You know, we got 10 other things we're more worried about. And then for others, like the Asian champion, a South American champion, or the CONCACAF champion, they're really into it because it's their chance to prove themselves against the best.